but I will leave this to my director when we're doing this presentation after the whole session to explain in detail how what we're doing, how we're doing it, how we intend to meet your expectations. Before I go further, we have several things we're going to be doing today. Our panel session is going to be very interesting, interactive. I would like and implore you guys to please drop your questions down. We have experts from the World Trade Center to the regulators, CBN, and also to the financial industry. We have somebody from the financial industry representing the financial space. I'm using the opportunity to say, first of all, I want to introduce every one of them. First, we have Mr. Demola Adedoyin, is the CISO of CBN. He's going to be on this panel. We have Mr. Etu Kemano, he's from the World Trade Center. He's going to be on this panel to talk. All this discussion are going to be more about the importance and challenges of cybersecurity. For some of us that really understand why we are cybersecurity has been projected today, and what's the best percent while we making the noise. You think you're not exposed? We're not joking. Yeah, we're exposed. One way or the other. And that's why we are here to solve the problem. The regulators are going to also be speaking from the regulatory point of view. I'm pleased to introduce and set this panel open, set this village open by saying thank you for coming. And I want us to turn our hands together as we push to the next line of action, which is the panel session. And I want to use the last person, okay, Mr. Philip. Mr. Philip is a CISO for Microfinance, NPL Microfinance. Mr. Dumara is right here. He's also the CISO for CBN. Mr. Eto for World Trade Center. We have two speakers. Mr. Eric, who will be talking. Having said all the challenges and the problems, we're going to tell you what we are doing in the Caribbean, what we are doing in Qatar. Get to Qatar today, the exercise training is being done by TeKnowledge. We get to the Caribbean today, we've done a lot of things compared to cybersecurity and the framework we do for them, the training, the scaling, and the likes of it. And we're going to be talking from that point of view. After which, we have a breakout session. I'll be coming back at that breakout session. Putting ourselves in different sectors, from the public sector to the private sector to the SMEs, and the other sectors that probably may not be listening. So I'll be handing over to my colleague, Carl Macharia, who will be setting the agenda for me. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for coming out.
Good morning, everybody. I thought you were coming for me. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Okay, that's much better. It's lovely to see everybody. I saw the number of us here today, and I'm happy that we're all here today. So, my colleague initially talked about us. I want to just give a little more context to who we are. So, TeKnowledge is a digital transformation catalyst. We know that digital transformation is what, you have to be digitally transformed, otherwise you go extinct. So what we do is we have a plethora of solutions. You just have to watch the video. It will keep playing in it for you to understand, so as not to waste our time. I will tell you the three major things that we do. We do cybersecurity, which is why we are here at the session conference, which means that if you have any cybersecurity need, whether you need us to use our own security operations center, known as a SOC, to solve your cybersecurity problems, or whether you want us to manage your own SOC, that's something that we do. Then another thing would be digital skilling. So if you have entry-level people that you want to train in cybersecurity, or you have advanced career professionals that you want to upskill or reskill, we do all of that. From certification courses to leadership courses to even courses like emotional intelligence, CompTIA trainings, Microsoft trainings, we do all of those as well. The third thing that we do is tech talent sourcing. So if this is the jackpot period, right? A lot of us probably experience a lot of our IT staff relocating, and then you're left with a shortage of staff. So instead of going through the process of hiring, interviewing, and all of that, you just reach out to us. We give you staff that are already trained They already understand cybersecurity. You don't need to train them. You don't need to bother yourself with hiring. You just contract it to us. We give you the staff, and then if you say, for instance, you need somebody else, you're not happy with that staff, we replace them for you instantly. So all the HR stress that you go through in terms of hiring your tech talent, we take that off of you and make it easy for you. Do you have a clear understanding? I try to simplify it as much as I can. Okay, great. So we're going into the first panel session now. My name is Motorayo Ayoape, by the way. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager for Africa at TeKnowledge. All right. Okay, great. So the first panel of the day is going to be speaking on the importance and challenges of cybersecurity in today's world. The importance and the challenges of cybersecurity in today's world. And for that panel, we have Mr. Ademola Adenoyi. He's the Chief Information Security Officer at CBN. Is Mr. Ademola Adenoyi here?
Yeah, round of applause for Mr. Demola, please.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Just a quick profile of Mr. Adenoyi. He is currently the Chief Information Security Officer at Central Bank of Nigeria. He brings experience from previous roles at CBN and holds a 2021 Harvard Business Online certification. He has a robust skill set that includes data center and disaster recovery management, SQL, software development, process improvement, strategy, and more. He's an experienced IT executive with over 15 years of work experience. He has expertise in data center and disaster recovery management, and he is based in Nigeria. He ensures efficient delivery of IT services across his different roles, and he has held various positions including Deputy Director and Assistant Director, as well as the Information Technology Manager. We are very happy to have you here, sir. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Okay, we are expecting next Mr. Philip Aiwepoe. I hope I didn't butcher that name. He's the NPF Microfinance Bank CISO. NPF is Nigerian Police Force. Oh, it's so great to have you here, sir. So just a brief of Mr. Philip. He holds a diploma in data processing, a BSc in computer science, and MSc in information technology. He's a highly skilled cybersecurity professional and a thought leader with 15 years of experience in the industry. We really brought people here today. You guys are in for a fantastic time. He has a deep understanding of the ever-evolving threat landscape, and he has built a reputation as a trusted expert in protecting the organization from sophisticated cyber threats. Throughout his career, he has demonstrated exceptional proficiency in various aspects of cybersecurity, including threat detection and mitigation, incident response, digital forensics, and secure systems architecture. His experience extends to advanced threat intelligence, penetration testing, and compliance with global security standards such as NDPR, NIST, and ISO 27001. He is known for his ability to develop and implement comprehensive security strategies that align with business objectives. He holds valuable certifications like Certified Chief Information Security Officer, Associate Business Continuity Professional, Certified Information Security Manager, Certified Senior Lead Implementer ISO 27001, and Certified Senior Lead Cybersecurity Manager ISO 27032. Please put your hands up. Thank you very much. The next person we are inviting is Mr. Oladele Adewumi of Taj Bank. Oh, he's not available today. Okay, great. So we are going to invite Mr. Etu Emmanuel. He is the Senior Business Technology of World Trade Center. Please put your hands together for him. Mr. Etu Emmanuel is a seasoned technology leader, and he leads the ELB systems and building automation at Churchgate Group in Nigeria. As a strategic pillar of the management team at the World Trade Center Abuja, his contributions are instrumental in propelling the group's technological evolution. He's an agile project manager with an agile approach, tactically steering a diverse team of ELB engineers, BMS technicians, software engineers, technicians specializing in access control systems, IP, CCTV, fire alarm, power systems, and interns. His leadership is enriched by a host of prestigious certifications from institutions like Harvard Business School, Project Management Institute, Atlassian University, IBMI, IIBA, LinkedIn, and Microsoft Corporation. These certifications span a wide range of areas, including sustainability, Six Sigma, ISO 27001, 2022 compliance cybersecurity, generative AI, data analysis, negotiation, supply chain, and team leadership. Please put your hands together for this special. Thank you so much, sirs, for honoring our invitation. And I will be introducing the moderator, a very fantastic colleague of mine. Her name is Adiola Olani. She leads sales for cybersecurity in Nigeria and Africa. Please put your hands together for Adiola. Please clap for her. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Give it the millennium vibe. Hello everyone, good morning. Thank you so much everyone for joining our village. It's a privilege to be with fantastic gentlemen. Most of the time I'm always the only shorty in the room, but the only woman in the room. Thank you everyone, thank you sir. It's a privilege to be here. So we're starting our village session, the first panel session today. So we are addressing the importance and challenges of cybersecurity in today's world. We'll be addressing the importance and challenges of cybersecurity in today's world. And before we get started, we have a couple of discussions that we'll have individually by panelists. And I'm going to start first off with Mr. Ademola. So they will be taking like a short session. It's going to be like maybe 5 to 7 minutes, just to enlighten us on what is happening in the digital space, what is happening in the cybersecurity world as of today, and how it applies to their section of the industry. So I'll pass on to Mr. Ademola.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here, and I want to appreciate it. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Talking about the relevance or the importance of cybersecurity in this world, of course, what brought about the discussion of cybersecurity is because of digitalization. Everything is going digital now, from payments to service, whatever you think of, digital. Of course, these digital transaction, digital processing have to be protected because it has its own challenges. Just as you can use digital technology to improve your process, so also others, the bad guys, are also looking for opportunity to make their own money illegitimately through digital means. That is what brought about cybersecurity. Digital technology exposes processes and payments and services to cyber attack. And for us to protect this, we have to have people who are knowledgeable about this digital product, about this digital technology, and who can be able to come up with a way of protecting it. That's what actually brought about cyber security. Of course, we all know what is cyber is space, and we talk about cyber security, the security of the cyberspace. So it's a huge opportunity, it's a huge landscape that anybody who is interested can tap into. Recently, I just attended a conference which the discussion has to be about cyber security. In Nigeria, let's even focus in Nigeria. In that same conference, we have also of a good number of banks in Nigeria we are discussing. And the major challenge they are having is lack of adequate skills. Not that the skills are not there, but the good people who have been there, they are traveling out of the country. So for those of us who are remaining, the opportunity is wide. is there. In fact, some of the institutions are saying they have to make do with what they have. They have people who know next to nothing about cybersecurity. They just have to use them because the rules ones are not there. I'm saying this just to enlighten us that the opportunity is there. And as long as we keep on using digital technology, the profession of cybersecurity will remain relevant. That is just it. In any way you think digital technology can be used, in such way, we know that there's a need of cybersecurity experts to be able to protect that digital space. So the opportunity there is wide. The opportunity there is enormous. It's just for us to tap into it. And how do we tap into it? To develop our skills, to look for people in the industry, to be mentors, to be mentors, and then develop yourself. There's the extent to which you can develop yourself in the field of cybersecurity is limitless. Every day we see new technology coming in. AI is playing its role. Just as we are using AI to do good things, also the hackers, they are using AI to mine data, to attack people, and it is the responsibility of those of us who are in the cybersecurity field to come up with means of protecting the usage of this technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Demola. Once again, Mr. Demola is the CISO of Central Bank of Nigeria. A round of applause for him. So I'll go back to Mr. Philip. Mr. Philip is the CISO of Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank. He has his own topic that we have to touch base on, just to enlighten us. Over to you.
Thank you very much. First, I very appreciate Sisha for putting this conference together, and also especially to TeKnowledge for this village. I also want to welcome everyone of you especially. My honorable colleague have said so much in the industry. I just want to touch on looking at what is happening in terms of evolving the trade landscape. Post-COVID gave rise to a whole lot of things. You see what's happening in Russia, you see what's happening in some other countries. The threats within the cyberspace is not just starting, but it's intermediary stage. Whatever we're experiencing, say how we've seen the highest, this is the highest we've seen. No, that's just the beats or the tip for the iceberg. There's still a whole lot that's going to happen. And we're already seeing some of those things in terms of how critical infrastructure for the nation are being affected. Like he said, as long as you are digital, you are using any technological platform, that organization, whether big or small, is exposed to strength. And one of the key issues we are having this part of the continent is within SME major, aside the financial sector who are doing so much, aside that we are not really seeing so much sector investing so much in terms of ensuring that the system is secure. What does that mean? It's very to remember that the opportunities in terms of human capacity is huge. Globally, there are about 3.5 million cybersecurity jobs, vacants that skilled personnel are needed for global put together. Just do that breakdown. Let's say an average of 500,000 on the side within Africa, or let's say 600,000. You can further take that statistic down to know what portion of it falls into the market. What does that mean? It shows that there will be high demand for skilled personnel. One, two, as a lot of organizations begin to adopt more technological platforms, we need to see need for them to secure their infrastructure. Even the number we are currently having of 2.9 million likely was double. The third thing is some organization does not even know that they need to even do things around it. Thank God CBN is here. CBN is doing a whole lot in terms of regulation for the financial sector. But I was trying to do some analysis that in a whole lot of other sectors, if you put the financial sector, yes, they play a very key role in the economic landscape in terms of economy. If you move them from the sector, for example, every other sector contributes I think well over 40-45%, and nothing is being done. Even within
financial sector is not even 100% of all the organization. But the good thing is that they have something they are running with. You have so many regulations they brought up and all of that to run the sector. So what does that mean? Now, in terms of skill, like recently we had an event talking about innovative solution for African continent. One of the key issues that the continent is also facing is the issue of high cost. So what are people looking at? Looking at what indigenous what solutions, indigenous skills, so that they can manage the costs. So what does that mean? There's no lot of opportunities. Now, knowledge is key. Human capacity development. A lot of people say, okay, I have interest in cybersecurity, I want to go into this, I want to become the expert. How do I start? Where do I start from? How do I acquire those skills? So those are kind of things we're also going to be looking at. And also TeKnowledge is going to be giving us all of those platforms. I can say AI is another great aspect. I say the AI has been there, it's not new, but the only difference is that awareness and in terms of how we are leveraging on it is what really changed. Look at it, AI is just all about, it's just all about your data. So what's it going to do? Analyzing the data to what, either taking action or preemptive about what will happen. So cybersecurity is also playing a very key role in that aspect. So someone was asking, cybersecurity AI, are you sure AI will not take away cybersecurity? I said, no. If you're able to leverage on the huge benefit it provides, it will enhance cybersecurity in terms of what proactive threat detection and what response. Now we now have system, for example, if something's happening, you don't need to manually use for this ability. System will tell you, know what, I see a user logging in at certain hours. We just like that it was suspicious login, flagged as high risk. In some cases, if you do that, you're auto, it will just block such requests. By the way, you now review manually and say, okay, oh, this one was actually required. These are not things that happen. So in summary, cybersecurity is interesting. It's a career that is going not only changing, but it's going to shape the future of many nations, which is already doing, and also going to change our lifestyle. Someone said, now we're not looking at, so when you secure the organization, or when you secure, or when you provide cybersecurity, you say, secure the economy, secure the nation. Because we remove every other aspect of what is being done out of the economy. Thank you.
So IT is actually an enabler. Technology is an enabler, and we all have a part to play. As an individual, AI is supposed to move us forward to the future to make work easier and faster. So next panelist is Mr. Emmanuel, work center, and he will also enlighten us on topics that are futuristic. Over to you.
Thank you very much. You know, I already know what I was up against when you share CISO's profound faith. And I said to myself, I'll speak to my colleague, Ms. Constant, and I said, you know, I'm going to say a prayer, and I'm going to speak last. And I think that prayer worked. So I'm going to spend the first 2 minutes of my time talking about interactive session. You know, I do not want us to, you know, it's not an assessment, it's an interaction, it's a village. So that means that we all have something in common to talk about, correct? So you look out for a village town hall meeting when there's a family issue. And everyone has an interest. We all have an interest in this conversation. That's what we're here, correct? So, look, when was it last time? If you can try, look, I will go first, just so I can have an idea of what we already know. Before now, and how long we've done what we know. So I was doing this analysis within my team at the World Trade Center, and I asked a few of my colleagues, and I said, look, be honest with me, it's done for reason. I just want to have a conversation. When was the first time we literally heard the word cybersecurity? The first time. What about cyber? What did you hear things of that? Or was the first time we heard about it? So I'm going to go first. Maybe that would also, you know, help a few, you know, volunteer. I just want to have an interaction, all right? So for me, it was first in 2015. I heard about literally cyber security. And I asked a few of my colleagues, and one of them is an intern, Cyrus. And Cyrus said, the first thing I heard about cybersecurity was in 2019. I realized that cybersecurity is now a department in my institution, in one of the faculty in information security. It is now a department, so that means that we're making a huge progress, taking it even down to education. And I asked one of my senior engineers in the team, and I said, Francis, when was the first time you heard about the word cybersecurity? And Francis said that was in 2014. My cousin had an interest to take MSc in cybersecurity, and I just heard about it.
Bring it down. So most project factor or motivating factor for cyber financial. So in that context, of course, it is not obvious that the financial industry is the most vulnerable to cyber attack in Nigeria. And this is also obvious because the financial sector in Nigeria has the widest attack surface. What we have is attack surface. That means there are a lot of digital products. A lot of digital products for your phone, payment, and a lot of things. So the more you add digital products, the more the attack surface increases. That is the more points the hackers can hit. So basically, in the financial sector, that is more vulnerable to cybercrime.
We round up. Over to you, Mr. Phil. So, still focusing on the current landscape. My question would be that how have cybersecurity threats evolved in the past few years? I mean, how has cybersecurity threats evolved in the past few years? And what are the most prevalent threat organizations faced today?
The threat landscape. The threat landscape is involving, let's say, the progression to use. I'm not sure we have because it's not geometric, it's not it's sporadic one. And it's evolving, like I mentioned, post-COVID gave rise to a whole lot of things in terms of number of attacks, applications, and injections all around the world. And what we've seen in the last 4 to 5 years after COVID, we begin to see a lot of threats of operations are facing. And so the prevalent one in the industry, things around the business in the compromise. In fact, which is very common. So I want to ask, is anybody that ever experienced the cyber attack? Just wait, I have busy persons, but is there anyone? If you've never, just raise your hand. If you have experienced, just if you've never experienced, just raise your hand to answer the question. You use an email. Have you received any email you never requested for asking you to do it? So you've experienced. So cyber, the most when you say cyber attack, okay, you can tell. When you say cyber attack, first time, it doesn't come when something happened, you lost money or no. You receive some email asking you to click, asking you to update, asking for certain information. That is already what an attack. There's a site you go, for example, if I have been probed, if you put your email there to show you the number of times you have been probed. So, meaning everyone is exposed. So, business being compromised is there. Things are around somewhere. You know, so he said something about before now we used to have a lot of physical bandwidth in terms of bad guys physically going to the bank to steal money. You notice that has what all that was drastically. Another year, the bank was robbed. Maybe in the year before, we used to have like up to 100, 200, if now in the year, you have those like 10 cases. Where are these guys now? They are lying in data space. What do they do? Steal data, they deny access, they disrupt service. And what do they ask for? The ransom used to pay physically, you now pay through what? Digital means. They now ask for what? Bitcoin. Why they ask for Bitcoin so that you cannot trace them? Now, we have things around malware, which is common. Ransomware, malware, different Trojan, there are so many spyware. Such that when you click on certain information, the system can probe, and all of these things are there. They don't have things around, even insider-related threats. But most times, people are putting most of the threats you are talking about are external. No, within the organization, users have escalated with privileges. There's so much. They know how things around remote ROTP attack. There are so many kind of attacks. All of these are what some of the high prevalent or trade operation has faced today. And what is the goal? What are they looking for? Like you mentioned, financial gain. Some of these ones that asset financial gain. The first is financial. Then some people want to steal those data. I know when you have someone with data compromised, there's a lot of issue about it. Aside just the money, there's a regulatory issue with it. And that can lead to litigation where you are being fined. And even the regulator itself will also fine you for allowing such incident to occur. Aside just the fact that users' data or information are stolen, you actually be fined for that. So those are the key issues that we're going to face. Then things around what data loss in terms of breaches. All of these are what top prevalent threats operation are facing today. And this threat, for example, there's so much that these are the top ones, and it's not about to stop. It's of the increase, and we still have more threats emerging on a daily basis. That's also what is called me to also what increase knowledge on how to tackle this kind of threat. Because as we are talking, for example, there's what we call there's the cyber threat in the cyber threat industry. Cyber industry, the threat industry is one of the most expensive industry in the world. There was billions of dollars, meaning there are people who all they do, they fund it, invest in it, acquire tools just to see how they can break through or gain access to applications with infrastructure. Talk about the state-sponsored actors. Now you not see nations fighting nations, and that is going to be the worst aspect of it. Because why? What nations are not doing? Okay, say you will not agree to attempts. We know what to do. Just get someone. It may not be someone outside. It may not be someone within that particular nation. Just launch this attack, or probably just once you release this code, the whole of this infrastructure will be broken. And when that happens, you know what I mean? That nation will be chaos. All of these things. High trust and the those low profits to nations and organizations.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for Mr. Philip. Okay, moving forward, I'll hand it over to Mr. Esu, addressing AI, Internet of Things, and all of that. We have some emerging technologies as well, and cyber security. So my question would be that with emerging technologies like AI, Internet of Things, and blockchain, how can organizations leverage these same technologies to strengthen their cybersecurity posture?
Right, absolutely. So briefly, one of the CISOs spoke about, right there, about blockchain based on now, paying your ransom, and it's not traceable, it is transparent. And it's quite accurate, it's super. If you're not there, you're not there. Now, Internet of Things, right now, is the biggest and the most susceptible tool the cyber criminal can use to cause a massive DDoS attack on any large organization. Last year, we've seen T-Mobile face the biggest landslide on DDoS attacks. And the majority of the computers that was used IoT devices, literally. And when Elijah was speaking yesterday and was talking about automations, the smart homes, and things like that, it's very important that we people separate that. Automation is not artificial intelligence. It enables your business. And AI, if leverage on that, can expand the scope of what Internet of Things can achieve for you. And that's one of the industry that's not really growing. We all want to live in the smart homes. We all want to speak to Siri on our phones, and it does virtually everything for us. We all want to tell Alexia to open up everything. That is automations. Now, in order to safeguard the cybersecurity space, because this connectivity They are hosted in the cyberspace. Everyone's going to go there anyway. It doesn't belong to anyone. But I'll secure you in the cyberspace. Have you ever gone to an open car park? You're not going to pay for it to park your car anywhere. And then you see that cars are parked at owner's risk. But the same say 5,000 square meter open car park space. And let's say the man with the car open up a little business in that same car park. And secure that area, put a fence around it, and it's charging you $500 to park your car. It's a show you guarantee you security for the car. The open space is still there, you don't have to pay, just park your car there good. Difference, why are you going to spend $500 for every hour to park your car? It's the value of your car. And the security you guarantee. You can leave your car there for 5 hours and go back to see it. And it's physical security. And cyber security is what you cannot see. It's virtual. But of course, we know the basic part. Firewall, you have to do things like that. Now, what made sure that it's bringing very close to Nigeria. And see, out of this emerging trend in all this technology, in blockchain, we understand that blockchain is quite very secure. But you see, one very important thing we need to understand is that once AI gets into it, it's a game changer. We've seen the game changing in automation industry that we champion at the World Trade Center. And there's something that we know right now that we invested hugely on, and that's, I mentioned that in my first conversation about artificial neural networks. It is predictive analysis. Now, we have smart systems, right, that are generated, that are driven by artificial intelligence these days. And we integrated that into it. We also have them using your IoT devices. They open and close, and they just listen to command and automate those processes. Now, but what very profound it is, take for instance, a generator that I automate, right, and I can tell the running speed, the fan rotor, the on and off state, the trip state, and things like that, on the generator, or in the plant, in manufacturing, or in motor production, and I bring AI into that to elaborate, to make it even more smarter, right? There's no human interference anymore in that process to be able to tell me when I have to do maintenance. So they are data sets that have been trained to understand that it's time to change the oil. We literally use the manual part we drive. Most of us drive our cars and we know what time we want to change the oil. If you take a car for oil change, and then the oil change guy will tell you in 2 weeks time, or if you drive the car for 3 weeks, depending on the quality of oil that you're using in your car. You probably use it for maybe 2 weeks, or 1 month, or 4 months, and your car can still be performing. Literally all of these things that try to keep your car safe, to make it very healthy, because you value your car. Now, AI is one tool that we need to start to partner with government and organizations. And the World Trade Center will get that already. And we're looking for institutions, partnership, financial institutions that are willing to invest in the artificial neural technology, leveraging on that artificial intelligence of human, where you can literally mimic Ethic and know what Ethic is going to do to this plant, what Ethic is going to do to that plant, if it was there physically. Now, in cybersecurity, quite very threatening, and which they come to my mind is, when you heard about it, what did you do about it? At first, and with all these huge opportunities that CISOs are assuming, the shortage of talent we already have today. 10 years ago, people heard about it, 5 years ago. It was only in 2015 the government of Goodluck Jonathan passed the law, the Prohibition Act, to be able to fight it. How do you explain that M2 came into your houses and collected $1 million from you? I didn't come banging and blazing with a gun into your house. I just found somebody to get it from you anyway. It was difficult to prosecute this kind of criminal attacks, criminal activities on the web. When you say you lose something to someone, I have to have physical contact. I have to come to your house, report a gun to you, right? Or kind of interfere you on the way while you're driving or driving back from work. But all of this is happening on the cyber when CISO is explained to you. It's a space. Right? Do you have any volunteer? When was the first time? Oh, let me put it this way. Is anyone here who has heard about cybersecurity before now, 10 years ago? Can you please just, and if you could put a context here, please could allow me to stand. I want to have you for the interaction. My first 2 minutes, yeah? You might work it. Please just tell us what was the context around how you got after your son, the girl was interested, or you were interested in 2014. 2014 is 10 years ago, correct? Correct. We had a difficult time with the microphone. We had that yesterday. I'm loud enough by your ears. Please go ahead. 2008. You can imagine. Please, man. what's the context around it? What's the discussion? We heard about cybersecurity in 2008. Correct. Correct. Squad 204. Correct. What's that?
But I wanted to do security. She said, let's do CISS. So I know
figure it out. Do you know what kind for you your exposure at the time? Anyone else? Way back in 2008, and madam? Anyone again? What year was that?
2006.
2006. Wow. You won. Anyone else? Anyone else?
09.
2009. What about you, sir? 2014. Maybe we said circle. Millionaires, right? Millionaires. Yeah. 2014, 10 years ago, biggest is still 2006. Anyone here very quiet, very recent? Let's be honest. A handful of my very senior network engineers said, what was the first time you read about cybersecurity? It was quite very recent, which is good at what she does. I'm the expert right now, and I have my team when it comes to network security systems. So let me shout out. Yeah. Thank you very much. Now, I asked that to put in context and have an idea of how much we know. Cybersecurity in itself was way back in 1987. That was the first time, and I can't remember the man's name right now, that was the first time the concept of cybersecurity came up. It's way back in 1987. Like in Nigeria, we heard something about it in 2006. Why not take an interest in security? Right? In 2008, as you Google it, figure it out. So, wow, this is something I like to do. And then, 20 years down the line, we're here. Are we going to say that Nigeria is the country where we want to be when it comes to cybersecurity 20 years ago? I don't agree. See, that's the first 2 minutes of my time. So anyway, for me, I was looking at let's take a very brief scenario and let us know what the trend is. Majorly, I was speaking on the risk that AI, gets posed with the trend of cybersecurity. We're doing a great job to fight and tackle cyber crimes, putting all the law in place, putting all the financial constraint and everything we have to make sure we have to do to be safe as we consume digitalization. That's very important. If we understand that we're consumer first, so that means we're also at risk. And because just like the CEOs and CISOs have also said to us well when he was speaking, so long as you're using this plan. I heard Elijah was speaking yesterday, and he was saying lots of things about what we plan to do right now, the data that we have, and how we can manipulate data, how we can train a machine to literally start behaving anything the human brain. That's very, very outstanding in technology right now. Now, think about it. What are the possibilities that AI is bringing? What are the threats it's also going to bring to us? Now, maybe it's not too much information, maybe it's too much information. Now, the World Trade Center, because we operate a bit controlling 390 plus World Trade Center around the world. Our regulations, our programs, our activities are controlled by the World Trade Center in New York. But see, more recently, especially in Africa, we've seen that we couldn't compare to the World Trade Center in America. We couldn't compare to the World Trade Center in Europe. And now we said to ourselves, so we have a body World Trade Center in Africa. We can do something different. We can try and close up the gap. And there's no cybersecurity, there's no digitalization without connectivity. It is a space because there's a connection, there's a network, right? Otherwise, there's nothing you bring in the space anyway. Ever heard someone say to you that if you're not in the cloud, you're nowhere? You've heard about that before, and everything is not in the cloud. You ask yourself, where is the cloud? There's nothing virtual about the cloud. There's a machine somewhere. So what we're doing at the World Trade Center is supporting Africa. And by the way, the first time that I get it up a couple of times, twice in the TeKnowledge and Tech Expert was in the IoT event, and then the Center event in Lagos in South Africa was in Finland. Now, what the standard thing we're doing right now is that we're looking up the World Trade Center. We're saying to CISOs from the financial industry, going to data centers, superstars in data centers, and our large scalers, the medium to super scalers in data centers. We're saying to them, we're opening up the World Trade Center to you. Float and boost your data centers in all the areas that we have. It doesn't necessarily have to be in remote areas. We can bring you to the city where you have great connection with people in the city because we're trying to expand connectivity. Right? People talk about deepfake. my mom in the village, or my uncle in the village, or even the woman in the market probably never heard about deepfake under 10 years ago. Probably don't even understand that AI technology, the possibility that are there. Talking about the oil industry, utility industry, transportation, the entire supply chain, revolution that technology and AI is bringing into it. All the exposure we're going to be exposed into cyber threats, the landscape is mind-blowing. Now, if we dare, as a country, when the CP was speaking yesterday, and he was very excited about the Nigerian police force, I'm sure you're about to hear everyone financing it, the very recent Nigerian police force cybersecurity sector. It talks about a lot of things we're doing right now, and how to collaborate with crime. I will catch a little bad guys. We're all reactive. It's all a reactive process at this stage. Someone committed a crime first, and they said something yesterday, very profound, when they said he was in Japan, and then they were giving an indicator of what to look out for to try to get the bad guys and fight from them. And let me just something like here. Someone like me in the industry, grab that as basic crime, and a few other things that probably should not disclose. Right? The biggest fear for me is this. If anyone, again, you have to understand that when we started cybersecurity threats, when wars started feeling the threat of cybersecurity, it was just exit was being the bad guy in this fear. Now we're a team. They're anonymous. They're a team. It takes just one person to say, oh, the CPO of the Nigerian government sitting in Abuja came and drafted. They have a fantastic system now. It's going to pull all of us out. And it becomes a target. The question is, what are we doing to make sure the info sector is secure? The CPO said, it's not enough that we are now fighting cybercrime ourselves with human. CISO says something cool. And it's a framework for AI itself. There's a generative model. It's like the beat, like the very minimum of AI technology. There's the artificial neural networks. That's where big guys like Fortinet, Sophos, and are exploring. These are all vendors in the United States. These are all vendors in Europe. There is no vendor in Nigeria in our context that is building that. We only exposed to open sources. We cannot build that fantastic AI infrastructure yet. We know we can. We're going to about destroy the thing of the resources in cybersecurity, let alone artificial intelligence. I think we should go there, right? Not even happen yet in Nigeria. So to just wrap it up, since we can continue for the other section, hopefully we get up, but you get questions and also we can speak further than that. The most important thing is that we're looking at leveraging AI. Now, working with AI cybersecurity tools that can combat, that can be proactive, that can be mentioned. And before you even think about it, there's a new technology that says that it's simply called threat finding. We're not waiting for you to come in crime anymore. We're mimicking the human brain. We're thinking how you're going to think to want to react. We're not even going to think about CBA. We're probably looking at your entire infrastructure, what you're doing, where you're hiding. Again, we already know the difficulties. What I'm doing, you can bounce on the next one. I'm looking at this like a podcast, it has to be more information. They go, whistleblower, or go with friends and take a lot of money to expose them. It's difficult to find cybercrime, but it's a lot easier to fight it with artificial intelligence. That is where the technology is going to right now. What you and I are consuming, large access thing, is generating AI model. That's all we're consuming right now. And there's a lot of investment. I read just yesterday what the Saudi Arabians are doing, investing in scale artificial intelligence. You're opening loads of millions of dollars today.
Thank you.
So I think that's enough. Thank you. Thank you.
We have another question.
I think we need to work on our microphone, just so everyone can hear. We need to work on our microphone.
So I know that even the universities have started gender security courses in Nigeria. So we are forward thinking, we are moving forward. It's a gradual process. So I have a couple of questions for our panelists. Can you hear me at the back? Can you hear me at the back? So I'm going to start with starting on my far right. So concerning the future of cybersecurity, right? I'm going to ask questions concerning the current threat landscape. What industry sector you believe are most vulnerable to attacks and why? What industry or sector do you believe are most vulnerable to cyber attacks and why?
For hackers, or cyber criminals, legally the information. One, financial group. Two, just to get people who do this. People if and then he with the experience. One country is also attacking the place and but for us in Nigeria, most motivating factor for cyber attack or the cyber crime is financial need. Though I'm not sure anybody want to know just just leave who you are able to bring down the website of see that talk about it how many people visit the website.
Already there's also a space for you to get a job in cybersecurity. But again, AI is going to be removing some jobs from cybersecurity, unfortunately. And the neuro technology of that AI at a second level, machine learning and patterns to understand, is that if we now go, stop being reactive and now be a taking the fight to them, or being proactive, your cybersecurity analyst might lose his or her job in your security operation center. Right? Because what the cybersecurity analyst does, he has a dashboard, correct? Say all of the malicious threat coming in, malicious tracking for emails, for your mobile phone, on the web. Say areas of attack, that's screening your phone and things like that. Now, but the AI, neuro technology, asks those themselves to understand how an analyst will behave to respond and to react and to safeguard our threat. That's what it does. Now, we've seen Sentinel, one start. 40 AI that we've also introduced into the platform to as well. So also as a technology that does that predictive analysis to be able to think way ahead of the attempt of the attack before they come really close to your gateway or close to your doorstep. And unfortunately, your firewall isn't going to hold it anymore. So these are the threats that are really right now good on the scale for AI. Now, we understand what we want to scale today. Think about the future when you walk into a restaurant with your brother and you have an argument with your brother. And the brother walked up to you and said, "Boss, don't take this outside." It's honestly a complete machine having a conversation with you. We're not there. Everything we see in the movies and the movies. Right? That's the future of AI. We're a drone and we'll deliver it to your house. We're human, possibly completely moving in the process. But you see, without the human factor, without the human brain, without the human intelligence, artificial intelligence is just like every other good. Right now, we're fighting AI, we're fighting cybersecurity, because someone somewhere wrote the software code, talk about phishing an email, situation that, and the email drops in your police. And then it could be ransomware, and then your system is overtaken. And then you start to react to it. So your IT guys, already in organizations that are reacting, causing all the chaos, shut down part of your server. But with that kind of threat, with that kind of increase in technology, leveraging AI, all of that, you want to use predictive analysis. And one very important area now that we're now looking at as well is in our power grid. Look, I remember that 5 years ago when I was still very young right now. It's not very traditional with the National Electric Power Authority. While they're coming to your house, my dad would have to tell them what kind of electronic he has. I've got a TV. And then take the complete load. Sometimes one out and be very primitive, right? And then tell my dad, we're paying $700. I said, no way. I don't want an iPhone. What about the older apartment? I'm not going to pay $700 for electricity. The iPhone is not working. It's even will barely even watch TV anymore. For them to be here. And somehow, automation, smart metric system, get into the discourse. Now you have to remember that we're talking about from generation, transmission, and then down to discourse to distribute that energy to you. Now, if you bring AI into that space, the threats you created now, you now open up our grid and our power sector to attack. Our footprint has now increased. It's a different industry that I'll be looking at. I do agree the financial industry is the biggest attack right now because we're all doing transactions, correct? Think about what African Medical Center is doing right now in Abuja. I don't know if any of you have seen that project, but those of us in medical field, it's a fantastic 500 bed space for the first space, fully automated medical center. You're in the city. And the biggest expansion is to go 1,500 bed space. It's going to be fully automated. Now, there's cybersecurity framework that we need to strengthen. Now, when the guys from data protection were speaking yesterday, I was I wasn't blown away because I want to get the part where we now bring AI to be able to protect our data. Now, the framework that we use today, NIST, for national critical infrastructure, you have the HIPAA for your medical, you have a PCI SS for your financials and all. How many industries, how many organizations are waking to the threat and putting this framework into space? Now, the local content framework will not even, get to that stage yet. Now, we're also talking about the GDPR, where, the way Nigeria works is, whatever the trend is, sometimes we're going to EU. I think I'm not going to get the question around that part, right? So you see, as the trend grows, the threat grows to as well. We're saying that we now want to leverage artificial intelligence to be able to take the fight to them, protect the software, protect human, protect facility, have more engaging human interactions around that. In the end, we're all consumers, we're all customers, we all want to enjoy the services. And the seamlessness of technology brings along. But the threats are there. They're not going to go away. Again, just one find around $50 billion. We still maintain a huge footprint of criminal activities. In the world, we're still number 5. We're number 7 before. And now we're just behind the United States, Russia, and China. I wish we were behind any technology like that. But in the wrong things will work. And we are product keepers. The majority of funds the federal government is losing, over $250 billion annually, that was estimated. Around the world, $1.5 trillion. That's what they're losing to cybersecurity threats. And people have come to realize that if you continue to use humans to fight humans, right? Because we're going to be working at the same time. There's something very profound the CP said. There was an attack with the launch and they captured very quickly. I don't know what software they're using, then we're going to find out. And they said it happened in 3 minutes. When AI can make it happen in nanoseconds. In a few seconds, you can eat 1 million people and cause chaos. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for the direction. So much wealth of intelligence. So, of course, it's new emerging technologies. We can't take away human factor. We need to keep iterating, we need to keep innovating to counter this threat. And AI will always help us to stay ahead. So, still on emerging technologies and cybersecurity. Mr. Demola, my question would be, with emerging technologies, still on emerging technologies like AI, Internet of Things, and blockchain, what new cybersecurity challenges have arisen? Right? Because we have these new innovations and there are, like I said, new innovations, then new problems spring up. So what new cybersecurity challenges have risen up again with these emerging technologies?
Greatest technology now is increasing the advance of things. People, our servers, AI and machine learning is unimaginable what AI can do. And just as you can imagine what AI can do, also can imagine what hackers can do. So that is where hackers see down and be rising in some of the AI can start producing. So the attack surface is basically everything. Where I'm speaking like this, I can be hard and be speaking to seated in the office or other things. If I'm speaking. So the threat is people are apart from AI, people want our thinking. I told you I attended the conference. We an investigation that they are to we are hackers advertise for the job. For example, in Nigeria, advertise for the job. Hackers will apply, especially in the work. Of course, because organization to work person are going to it. Someone can apply for media as a legitimate applicant, interview online, check the profile. On social media, you see that this guy is incorrect, that he has all the profile, meanwhile it's an attack. Counting access to the organization, you get to sniffing your data, doing your data, and all the values. That's the extent to which cybersecurity issue as there's also, I'm sure you have heard about vision.
Yes.
Whereby a call center will call you over calling from MTN. If I really want to call, they are going to hijack the call center and hackers will be able to interact to get all your things. So just as you can imagine the extent of the technology, also imagine to that extent cybercrime. So the question, how will the acting as then how do organizations defend themselves? How do individuals defend themselves? The more profile you have on the social media, the more you are increasing your personal attacks surface, thereby they can beat you. Likewise, an organization, the more digitized an organization is, the more the organization is exposed to. He mentioned something that we now, as cybersecurity experts, we now just wait and be expecting the attack so that anybody will react. Yes, that is part of it. But going further, there are another field of cybersecurity or threat hunting. You yourself, you don't need to wait. You know that they will come. But you go out and hunt for the look at their interest and come, identify them and you strike them before you strike them.
President, getting the skills, understanding,
and go and look for the process.
Thank you so much.
focusing on understanding the fundamentals. Because understanding the fundamentals of ethical values is fascinating.
How do human errors and social engineering attack, like phishing, continue to impact cybersecurity? How do human errors and social engineering, all the social engineering attack, how do like phishing continue to impact cybersecurity?
I think there's one important aspect of what you continue. I see a human is strongest and something weakest. Strongest, meaning they know what to do, not strong. Meaning strong, you are as strong as the weakest.
Yeah.
So, if we are all joined together as a chain, if there is a weakness at this end, this chain is broken. That is how the security is. So the elements is the most important factor. You can put all this process, you can buy the best security to say some AI, everything in place. Then say AI will do the automation of it. The process in place will make the standard for the institution. But the human element, that is not what it is. See what things will produce small, nothing. It's a human that will ensure that the technology will work very well. The idea of the 5 years AI will take responsibility to work. That is not true. Why do I say so? For example, in the program of the AI, the confidential of those platforms, seeking to ensure that you provide the right information. Then we do it yesterday. Now, in terms of, let's go to the users. If, for example, you don't know those things, you have the right to do it. If the users in that world, just a little mistake, the entire infrastructure into place. So that's let us know the importance of how it is to emphasize awareness. So awareness might help us to most of the security might not operate security in an office. Can be the words that change which can be put to make a organization. You cannot reach the light. Serious mistake. Now something happened. Just keep it small, just let me keep it consistent. As far as that guy introduced that USB stick, we have blocked the USB spots. But there are some attacks that are USB. What is just the attack? Just the attacks side of the network. contact. With that, we start the lateral movement and deep network. So awareness is key. The users, awareness is key. But even the technical people, as in the who manages this platform. So human is the most essential in ensuring you have an effective service operating strategy. And that's what we're going to do. The emphasis needs to be placed on investing in human capacities of development. So, for example, if we are not done training, they will ask you things around how to do it. If you've done everything, you will not score well in this aspect. They will tell you that you've not done what is well. This aspect is the factor of ensuring the consistency.
Thank you so much. Cyber awareness, that includes you and I, whether you're in IT, whether you're in sales, whether you're in finance, we all need to be aware of the emerging threats in cybersecurity, whether to your personal self or towards your organization. So, my next question is, my next question would be that cybersecurity and remote work, right? Because we are moving forward and COVID has happened, work is not the same, it's not as usual. And a lot of organizations are working full-time remote now, most organizations are running hybrid work, and just a few are still stuck up on the traditional work. So on cybersecurity and remote work, what best practices should organization adopt to secure remote work and sensitive data specialized
Okay, for some of us have been interested in cyber governance, the cyber governance within is open, so we can go in now. Cyber
So for the remote workspace, I think we put the traditional remote workspace 5 to 9 and 9 to 5. Yeah. I mean, the organizations around the world right now, they're fighting. There was a publication from AWS, insisting that all the workers to come back to work in the United States. Across the NGOs, and majority of the policy was about saying, oh, you're a big tech guy, and you're taking us back 20 years ago. The fight was so intense, and Jeff and all of the management team of AWS felt very bad, and pulled back, that memo, and forcing the staff to turn back to work. Because of course, what was the idea of remote work in the first place? It was post-COVID-19, correct? COVID-19 opened up the cybersecurity threat to another different landscape entirely. Now, it was estimated in the United States with enough data across the world, around the world, between 2021 and 2023, that 20% of the landscape for cybersecurity threats and attack, remote work contribute about 20% of that. And this year alone, September we're in right now, first week, that was updated to 35%. Because remote work is growing, absolutely. People don't go back to work. So women are saying to you that you're not being fair. You're not considering them. They're mothers, they're fending for the kids. They can't manage it. You want to compete with them to work, right? The gender has to be balanced, the inclusivity has to be there. If you're preaching that, you have to consider everyone and then also come back to work, right? So again, that's why the numbers are growing. That's why the footprint continues to grow. The question now is, how do we safeguard organization infrastructure? There is a simple foundational approach. I'm not going to mention that about human. There's something about bringing your device to work. That's completely going on right now. Now, my wife, I know the portion was just trying to make me she works a lot from home. Works with quite a number of tech giants. And she does it from home. There's a particular PC. She tell me, if you touch that laptop, it's on the laptop, I'm working right now. Because my fingerprint has been collected, I want to use my fingerprint. If you type on it, you will know I'm not the one typing it. So please. Thank God I'm not from but it's a possibility that technology. she was just, we kept arguing. I knew she would just be the internet to try to live up. Yes, the security. Just always walking in the business, right? Just make it right. Right? Now, this is the device is and you also have to remember that lots of Nigerians are working. Lots of us. Lots of us working with gaming industries, working with medical centers in Nigeria, right? And in absolutely work. That's why 2 years ago, CBN, the government, went into that space and started to tax them. And they started to tax the watches. You know, they weren't taxed before. Now, because of course, if the government is going to tax us, we have to make sure that we afford the tax too as well. We got it. Now, the onus is on the organization. You create a VPN for connection, a virtual private network. Fantastic. You make sure you have a robust firewall and good end. But you have to remember, that's where the human comes. Because you're not hiring machine yet, because we're not there when robots can literally think like humans and be able to do your work, compose your data, enter your data, provide customer success support because it's success management phase. You see the human, you see the couple of Nigerians, you see the Indians, at a major market where they are right now in the work. But you see that footprint keep growing. I'm not sure anyone, any organization will have the best security, like the World Trade Center one, like AWS, like CBN, you know, like the microfinance bank. Do you know how much of a root work that CBN allows right now? You know, out of all the branches and all working from home, right? Is anyone working from home from CBN right now? That you have to give a VPN connection to them to work from home and fast. Very few, actually few. And of course we have policies, that the bring the device to policies, that the checks you have to make sure you have to do, just so that my son doesn't go and plug in a USB or my laptop because he cares. We completely barricaded our workspace, just so we can secure it. That's the human factor, that's the effort just put into it, to make sure that the threat doesn't come from her. Now, not to sound cliche, we all know the fantastic security that we have to put in place, but come to the user, the person doing the work. Anyway, the only thing I want to have in the system is to make sure that there's a firewall there, certified by the organization, right? They are signed that she can visit their offices on that particular laptop, just so that the social media is completely out of it. Just like you're working in a bank hotel, they deny you the access, deny you all of these things, there's all of those access lists, all of those configuration that someone like Mr. Lista, a network engineer, by the way, she's here with me, senior network engineer for World Trade Center. All of those things that she does on the framework to make sure that if the group managing director of the World Trade Center, Sub-Saharan Africa, is working from Singapore, by the way, organizations that have collaborative tools where they work on, there's the ERP system where you can be in the United States and see it approve the supply process. You can be able to log into your ASCP framework for finance, for instance, and approve payment, right? When you mentioned those who were victims of phishing and all, I'm not a victim, but on behalf of the group managing for the World Trade Center. Very functional. So that means no one is bad. It's not a respect to a person, you know? I'm going to start what I'm saying, right? Now, how much of technology can CBN put in place to allow the few people to work from home? How much of the framework, how much of the principle, of the procedural processes, you know, the standard operating procedure of what to do and what not to do? And then very importantly, do they have to work from home? Right? The access that they have, we have to give it access. And more importantly, there's a technology right now when it comes to securing remote work. And it's a zero trust policy. That's what it is. So it means that for every time Mr. Vinny Matan is logging into the ERP system of the World Trade Center from Singapore, he has to re-authenticate and authenticate. What I'm going to assume is the one behind it, the same. I'll give you an example of what happened in my office. So there is a conference room here that you can actually just go and have meetings about. Aside from the 10th floor conference room that is being managed by Centra for scheduling of meetings and all. This was probably used to where you check the dashboard. The conference was free, automation, right? But it's one that's always free and honest. And I wanted to use, have a quick meeting and a training for my team. And I met person sitting right in front before you get access to the conference. And so said to me, sorry, what is happening in this conference room? Now people abusing it, people allowed to come in. I said, okay, at least you know what decided to pay the 1%. I said, small me. I said, I'm so sorry. And I asked him, I said, who gave the instruction? I said, who works with management instruction? So please, I want to have a meeting. 10th floor is all occupied. Please ask for the number. Please give me access. I said, 0 plus 1 from you. Now, in Mohammed here, because when the human factor comes in, it's a big problem. Because in Nigeria, in the world, we have respect. The only thing that AI has done is to remove the emotions from the machines. It removes our emotions from it. Again, human will never leave respect. The most dangerous, unethical AI right now we're doing is using machines to train machines. It's annotation where AI trains AI. And the United Nations is saying that should never happen. They're trying to stop it and doing everything they can to stop it. Because once you remove the human texture, when you become unethical, that's the most dangerous thing. And I'm not saying that the most dangerous tool that we've invented and we don't know it yet is artificial intelligence at that scale, at the machine learning scale, at quantum scale, at artificial neural network scale. It's the most dangerous thing. So when you got the call from his direct supervisor and said, please let me enter the conference, he knows he's answering. But the problem is, if you give me access and I leave in 1 second, and someone else can come and mess up the conference room, again, that's the problem. So the zero trust policy allows you to say that even down to the highest food chain of the organization, you do not trust anyone. And it's a policy, and it's a framework that all IT professionals, as CISOs, are making sure they're ensuring that is in place. And that's the only way you can reduce human errors. Human errors will always be there. I mean, we've recently some funny video on TikTok where, one of the senior business leaders having a meeting, and then the son walked right behind him, and then he stood up, the world just boxes. Imagine if you leave the laptop, and then the son just came in here and just very funny. So all of these things are, the things that organizations ensure that all the staffs that must work from home, all of these checks into it. The framework has to be respected. They have to emphasize it, right? And enforce it. Thank you. Thank you.
Round of applause for him, please. So I'm going to ask Mr. Demola this question. This is around regulatory and compliance policies. Challenges. So we have a lot of regulations in CBN and the private sector, public sector, what is happening in the digital space. So how do evolving regulations like GDPR or other compliance policies that are tailored to the Nigerian sector impact on organizations that approach cybersecurity? I can ask questions for you. So how do these evolving regulations impact an organization's approach to cybersecurity? And the other is, what are some of the biggest challenges companies face in meeting these regulatory requirements, and how can they stay compliant?
Thank you very much for the question. Of course, because the landscape is evolving, regulation as well has to be the problem. Let me start from my immediate constituency, the financial industry. Of course, cybersecurity is key that CBN is the emphasis because most of the entities we are regulating, of course, we are encouraging them to do it. They are using digital products. So we must ensure that those digital products are protected, especially from the side of the customers, because we are the eyes of the customer. So recently we released an updated risk-based cybersecurity framework, which all the financial institutions are expected to comply with. That framework specifies even the technology, the standard of technology they should use, processes they should have, even the human aspect we are seeing. All organizations that is paid in the financial industry, they are expected to have a system that report directly to the board. What does this ensure? It ensures that cybersecurity matters is being discussed at the board level of every organization. The board level know the implication of cyber attack to the organization, and you do everything to be able to protect such organization. I also believe that every other industry also have their own regulation. Then talking about the data protection regulation in Nigeria, it is apt that we have. Unfortunately, I was in a forum discussing with the CEO of the NDP at Nigeria, and I said most Nigerians, they are not aware of the regulation. They don't know their rights. If, for example, my data gets exposed through my bank, what can I claim from those banks? Most Nigerians don't know. You don't know. Of course, if you go through the law, there are things you can do, to take something from the bank, if you can show that your data got exposed from those banks. So it's good that we have this regulation. regulation, but again, we must also do extensive awareness. Let people know what is this regulation, how their rights are being protected through this regulation. Then what's the implication of this regulation of the industry or of the organization? Of course, the implication means that the organization needs to continue to look at the regulation and they need to comply to those regulations. And in compliance, of course, you may have to spend more money. Cyber security is not cheap. Protecting yourself, your organization digitally is not cheap. But again, when you compare the gains from where what we get going digital, of course, you wouldn't mind, committing resources to be able to defend yourself. Or on the other hand, what you will lose if you are hacked should not, once you consider what you will lose if you are hacked, then you know that you have to put more money. Like we are saying, organizations are complaining in Nigeria, especially banks, that when they train people with Java, then the question is asked, okay, can you afford to have to train people in the organization? People are not trained to be working for you. So you have to look at it. So the impact of regulation is huge in the industry, especially in the financial industry, which means we have to invest more in technology to meet up with this regulation. Because, like I said, the cyber security framework specify the standard, even if you are using technology, the standard of this technology, you have to train your people, is well specified there, and then it means more money, you need more people, you need to hire more people, not anything that will be implement all the regulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was enlightening. Okay, so moving forward to Mr. Philip, right? On cybersecurity skill gap, right? There are widely recognized shortage of skilled cybersecurity professionals. How can organizations bridge this gap, right? And my other question would be that, what advice would you give young professionals? Like me, for instance, I didn't start up as an IT person. In fact, what I'm doing right now, I don't have any technical knowledge, right? But a lot of people, I know that most of us here are professionals, but how can you, we don't know how far our people go, right? There's so many people that will be watching online. How can you advise? What would you give young professionals or students that are looking to build a career in cybersecurity? So my first question is, there are widely recognized shortage of skills in cybersecurity. How can an organization reach this gap?
Thank you very much. That question has two sides to it. Yeah, globally, between the continent and Nigeria, it's a conflict. So one of the things we should start looking at where we can be, but we cannot stop located. But we should start looking inward, we start looking at things around developing capacity locally. So we say skill set, for example, it's not just those who are working. You start in the secondary school, the university. It does not necessarily mean that you must study cybersecurity or computer science at the university before you switch to security. You know, with the advent of the internet and knowledge out there, it's not that you're ready to start a career. All you just need to first find what are the best computer parts in terms of what aspects do I want to go into. There's GRC, there is risk analysis, there is the compliance, there's CISO, there's data protection. There are so many aspects. Penetration testing, vulnerability management, there are so many aspects. The man goes on. Based on this, which of these ones I want to develop skills on. They also identify centers, organizations who are into capacity building. For example, TeKnowledge is one of those. And look at the various courses they offer. I know learning is very easy now, so you don't have to do physical class. So most of these training are online. Where you can have some cases where recorded training session, so you can have a live training session that you can learn all of this. Then mentorship is also very important. So what mentorship will do, for example, asking which aspect should I go. It's in the place of mentorship that will guide you. I think based on your passion, your interest in what you want, what you see to achieve, I think you should pursue a career of penetration testing. or pursue a career in cybersecurity analyst, or pursue a career in SOC analyst, or pursue a career in GRC. So that will also help to guide. Then, thirdly, you have to also look at, there are also free courses outside what you have, you can also leverage on. In terms of, I know the ISC school is doing something very hard with cybersecurity. Globally, they are bringing 5 million free certification, also leverage on to also build skills. And also, in terms of what you're doing, in terms of, several questions talking about what? Bridge gap, yeah. Yes. For the shortage, what really bridge gap is, for example, for organizations that have this shortage, for each of those key roles, it's obvious that you don't need to have just one key person like that. So why the person who is running the role is still active? You are doing a kind of succession plan where you have somebody else who also have the same skill. Then you cannot underplay the place of your SOP for each of those key processes. Very important. Having them documented, you are training somebody that is similar or who can also take up that same role when one person leaves. You keep doing that continuously. Yes, capacity building is not something that starts or ends. It's like a circle. It doesn't end. It is a continuous process. And we have to be a structured place that will ensure that this process keeps moving continuously, day in, day out. So the company.
Thank you so much. We're running out of time, so I'm trying to wrap up. So one of the things you can also do is partner with TeKnowledge. There's a lot that we're doing in outsourcing, staff outsourcing, right? So what we do is you can partner with us to, offer that attrition rate. So if you have a shortage of staff, you can use us as your backup. Aside from the cybersecurity that we're doing, we can also help you outsource staff. We have over 2,000 staff in Nigeria, and globally we have over 6,000 staff. So you can imagine the offers that we have for organizations that need. We're in partnership with a lot of top banks in Nigeria. I don't want to start mentioning names, but that's what we do with our forte and so much more. So I'll hand it over to Mr. Etu. I'm really trying to wrap up this session. Mr. Etu, right? The CISO of CBN mentioned something about ignorance. So, like they say, if you don't like education, try considering ignorance. It's the same thing with cybersecurity. If you don't put in place the security protocols, try considering the remediation of these things that happened in your environment. You'll be paying so much more. So, my question would be that how can organizations or maybe head of the unit justify investments in cybersecurity? They want to convince management that, let's invest in these things, let's invest in this thing. How can they justify these claims? How can they convince them? Please make it really short. Thank you so much.
I'm just going to make reference to what Sister from CBN said. So what they're doing right now in the financial sector is to make sure that the threat of security becomes an household conversation of the food chain down to the C-suite. These are the guys that are going to tell you, why don't you spend that kind of money? They're going to push you. They're not going to agree with you to spend millions of dollars on something large scale to put this technology in place. But the question is, if you don't do it, what's going to happen? It's not a question of if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. And like Sister from NFP, microfinance was saying to as well, the more you get exposed, the more your business is online there, the more you will spend a lot of money on PR, marketing campaign to make a lot of profit, to break into markets. You have to think about business continuity. When they get hold of the organization, it is not just the resources that you lose, it's your reputation in the markets. All of the millions of naira you're pumping in to get more clients, to make more PR, make more marketing campaign, make more sales. Look, it's really all about sales in the end. It's not about profit. Even in non-profit organizations, see, they funds to run the non-profit organizations, right? We're saying that so long as, unless you're taking your business to be diva period, right? I was surprised when Sister said to the lady who said, I haven't been a victim of cyber threat, a cyber attack. And I love the way you broke it down. So long as your email has been out there somehow, Sometimes you get interested email, sometimes you get funny email, answer seven. How do you get my data? How do you get my email address? People are mining data. You enter information everywhere in the world. You're doing online processing, they're asking you, some person will ask you for your official email address. Someone somehow will get that information, people mining that and get it. Now, it has to be something that we're discussing for every organization. You have to get their buy-in, both your internal stakeholders and your external stakeholders. You need to go to the basic. You need to understand. Leave all the technical talk that we're talking right now. Let them understand it literally. And you have to speak with numbers. The C-suite understand numbers. You understand the numbers? Now, the market is there, right? Online is estimated that, I think just in August, there was a really high-level cybersecurity forum that happened in this country in collaboration with the United States government alone and the United States Embassy. And the three arm of the government were there, and they estimated how much we're losing as a nation annually in cybersecurity attacks. Over $250 billion. It's not naira. All over the world, have gone through trillions. Mentioned that already. As an organization, the private sector, either be government or private sector, if they get hold of you, your identity is gone, reputation is gone. So once you're able to buy the buy, and that's why cybersecurity has got a framework. Whether you're in the health sector, you have a framework that's backed up all over the world. You can explain the term to them. As far as hospital is concerned, there's also a framework for infrastructure that guide. There's a framework for the financial sector. Every industry got a framework. You can break it down. You can break the people down to the health department. And the health department got a lot of work to do to convince. Maybe you're reporting to the chief operating officer, who's also reporting to the board, or you're reporting to the group managing director, and also convince the board to bring that money to invest. In addition to the trend in attack, our organizations are losing their face in the market. How much more they're losing as a nation, what we're losing. And just tell them the story, even as much as T-Mobile, what they lose before Cloudflare, they can mitigate the DDoS attack that happened to them. They can literally, it all depends on what business you're in. Some businesses will tell you, look, I suppose we're not out there, we don't even have a CS certificate, we're not like in the world. We're not even doing PR for that. People don't even know us. Well, they know you. Because the human factor is there. It takes your staff to make a mistake, to say something important. He's excited, he's saying something out of excitement. Boom! Become an interest to an interesting people. They're very interesting people. Because like I said, it's just the bragging right. We broke into NFBA, broke into CBN, broke into the World Trade Center, crashed down. I'm sure they're going to crash the website, but everything there, right? So we just have to make sure we can educate our systems, our leaders, they need to understand the importance of putting the resources, putting the investment in to safeguard technology. Back in the day when IT used to be nothing to talk about, just one guy in the server room said, this is the server room. It's grown beyond that. Look at the supply chain, every process of supply chain, transportation, we're trying to automate it. Look at what the data centers players are doing right now in the business of data center. Right? You need connectivity for people extremely digital. And if your business is even going to exist in this age, you have to be in the cloud. And if you must exist in the cloud, if you must exist in the social space, if you're going to leverage on technology, then you have to protect that technology at your level. Regardless whether you're small business, medium size, whatever the scale is, every scale, they said every new level got a new level, right? So your small business today, you're growing, start getting attention, you're declaring your profits, you're hearing how much you're making.
SMS phishing, text phishing, SMS phishing, text phishing, bot phishing. Okay, so let's check the correct answer. Click on SMS phishing. SMS phishing is correct. Well, I heard you first, I'm sorry. That was my answer on first one. Okay, we'll give it to you. Okay, let's do the next question.
No, that question is not correct.
Before traveling internationally with your smartphone, which of these precautions should you take? Delete all apps not provided by your employer, enable file sharing, disable Bluetooth, and who said that? Okay, disable Bluetooth. Let's check if that's the correct answer. Wow! Cyber
did not grow, meaning the gap also expanded to about 4.8 million from 4.0 to 4 million. Right? So that's to tell you that the gap, the workforce gap in cybersecurity keeps increasing, and we are not increasing in terms of adding more workforce to the numbers. Let's go to the next one. Now this is the number in countries. Okay? For Nigeria, which is somewhere here below the middle, we have about 5.78 increase in demand for cybersecurity skills. Right? For countries like Australia, you have up to 71% increase in the gap between 2023 and 2024. So I'm hoping, well, we've been discouraging people. Sorry? So for minors means they close their gaps. So the gaps reduced actually, right? So countries like Australia, Japan, France, China, they have huge gaps in cybersecurity, as well as Nigeria, of course, right? So next slide. So when we think about this, we think in terms of opportunities, right? That there are cybersecurity workforce gaps means there are opportunities for people to get into the cybersecurity field and fill those gaps. Now, when we talk about cybersecurity skills, we are talking about people who are proficient in cybersecurity, and then people who have the soft skills, all right, for cybersecurity, and also people who are enrolled in cybersecurity roles, right? Now, 58% of organizations that are ISC to interview actually mention that lack of talent puts their organizations at high risk. You can imagine suffering a data breach or a cyber incident and you don't have people to respond to them. Nowadays, it's no longer enough to have tools. You know, you need people to look into those tools, to understand what is happening, and to respond to cyber incidents. Okay? Next slide. Sorry, next slide. Sorry, it looks like next. Let me not go next again. Sorry, I don't want to go into those discussions because it will take time and maybe some of you in the audience won't be really interested in that. So where are the technical skill gaps on the security teams? Where do we have them most? We see in some areas like artificial intelligence, areas like cloud computing security, zero trust framework, right? Digital forensics and incident response. Now, if you look at some of these areas, you will see that there are areas that are developing. In the last 3, 4, 5 years, we were not doing remote work. As of 2018, before COVID-19, a lot of people were not working from home. But with working from home, new trends, develop. So, like the panelist was saying, zero trust, came to be because it was a work securing the remote worker. Making sure that every time you're continuously being authenticated, so that we are sure that it's the person that is supposed to be connected that is still connected. You look at cloud computing. 10 years ago, a lot of people didn't know anything about cloud computing, but now it's there, and now you need to secure it. So, skills in cybersecurity, securing the cloud, and become prominent. All right, next slide. So, this is just showing that this problem of cybersecurity workforce gap, it didn't start today. Prior to 2022, it was really high, and it's only just beginning to trend down, but it's still stable at 67% between last year and this. All right, we expect that it's going to grow. Okay, but we are hoping that with some practical strategies that are coming up, we'll be able to begin to meet, reduce the gap. Next slide. So we
we now want to look into why the skill gaps. Okay, next slide. Well, the first thing, there were modifications to this slide that were not made, but let me just talk through them. The first issue that is leading to the rapid workforce skill gap in cybersecurity is the rapid evolution of cybersecurity, right? The way cybersecurity, the way IT and digitalization is evolving creates a field that is rapidly evolving, and then you have gaps. Once you have a new area, an innovation that comes up, automatically there is gap, and it takes time to fill those gaps. For instance, I mentioned that cloud computing wasn't there 10 years ago. The moment cloud became a thing, there was gap already, and it needed some time before people started to learn about the cloud, started to learn about cloud security, and so on. Artificial intelligence has come up today, and people are beginning to, get the required knowledge to fill up those skills. And the next one is this high barrier to entry. If you want to be, let's say, an accountant, just go to school, do your 4 or 5 years degree, and you learn everything you need to learn about accounting. It's straightforward, you learn it, and it's done. If you want to be a network engineer, maybe a Cisco network engineer, you just take the books for Cisco networking and you study it, and it's done. But if you want to be a cybersecurity professional, you need to know about networking. And in networking, you might need to know about Cisco, Fortinet, alright? You need to know about operating system, Windows, Linux, AIX. You need to know applications, databases, endpoint detection and response, so many things you need to know. So we create a relatively, comparatively high barrier to entry. Right? And some of these men you see on the slides, my colleagues at work sent them to me, like making fun of our profession. So you see that saying, this great mantis has been trapped in this class for 30 years. That's about the years of experience you need for a junior cybersecurity role. And then you have to write cybersecurity certification exams. Some of them are 3+ hours. I remember in 2014, writing my CISS was 6 hours. And you get to have a toilet break. I didn't take the break because I was sweating. To the hall. So that's one reason why there is a high barrier gap. But these things are changing. So there is good news on the horizon. So let's get to the next one. Next slide. There is not just the cyber skills. There are other soft skills that are required for cyber security. So you need to know the books, but you need to also have some soft skills. You need to be analytical, you need to be inquisitive, you need to have a curiosity, like what is happening. You need to have an eye for anomalies. You need to look into this room now and say something is wrong there. And most of all, you need to have integrity. Because in cyber security, we deal a lot with sensitive information. Sometimes you go to investigate something and you discover much more things than what you are there to investigate. Sometimes you are called to investigate the mobile phone of the MD. And everything is open to you. You are seeing all the communications by the MD. So if you are not a person of integrity, you could use that information for bad. So that's another thing. FBI at some point have difficulties recruiting people because one of their policies is that you must not have been involved with drugs in the last 3 years. So that's issue. Next slide. Job stress and job satisfaction. It's low for the cybersecurity professionals, right? And what go around, right? If you see the men there, when you're young, you have a lot of time, you have a lot of energy, but you don't have money. When you are adult, you have a little time, you have money, you have a little energy. When you are old, you have a lot of money, you have a lot of time, but you don't have energy. when you are a cyber security professional, you have no time, you have no energy, you have no friends. You only have false positives. So, a research by Gartner said that cybersecurity professionals are facing unsustainable levels of stress. And Trend Micro said that 70% of some analysts report that they are overwhelmed by alerts, right? It affects their mental health. I know my people in the office, they keep complaining, they work shifts, they don't have weekends, when they are off, other people are at work, when they are at work, other people are at home. So all these contribute to making the profession unattractive for a whole number of people. Next slide. Then there is no gender diversity. I like how the moderator in the last session tried to include the women. Cybersecurity is a field that don't have enough women. But this goes for a lot of IT fields and a lot of perceived technical fields. So there needs to be a lot more done. Some organizations are doing much to attract women. There are women in cybersecurity initiatives, and I think FSI, Microsoft, MasterCard, and some other organizations are championing certain initiatives to bring more women into the cybersecurity workforce. Next slide. Then is perception of the field. Once you say cybersecurity, people think of the hacker that is hobbled up in one dark room. People think about technical. You are doing a lot of things, getting under the hood in IT. But then there are other roles in cybersecurity. There's cybersecurity project manager, data protection officer, cyber risk officer, governance risk and compliance. There are soft things that people can also do. Even without, somebody was asking me that at some level, at some age, can you still transition into cybersecurity? Yes, you can go for some of the roles that don't require deep technical skills. All right, next slide. And then there are the Gen Z factors, right? I have these thoughts always in my office when I'm trying to encourage my people, to take on cybersecurity certifications and read up and so on. Gen Zs are conscious about a lot of things that us Gen X and millennials didn't worry about. For us, we were like, you have to work hard, you can work long hours, we didn't care so much about career progression. But Gen Z, after 1 year, if they are not progressing in the career, they're worried, right? They're talking about their mental health, they're telling you about their feelings right in the office, and that is like contrary to what cybersecurity jobs present to you. In cybersecurity roles like a SOC analyst, you're dealing with a lot of data, you're sitting down analyzing things for long. Although, like I say, things are improving, especially with some tools and even AI coming into the frame, right? Things are getting easier. But then talent management comes into play because we need Gen Zs, we need to manage them in a different way. You need to actually cater to those things they care about, in their mental health, work-life balance. Sometimes give them the ability to work from anywhere, all right, and things like that. So these are also things that are influencing the filling of the gaps that we have in cybersecurity. Next slide. And then, of course, this has been said a lot here this morning about Nigeria and the Japan syndrome, how it's affecting our talent pool, right? In one instance, a particular IT head left the country with all staff that were working on that. Imagine how the organization would have been in the next day following that. Especially, like someone mentioned about standard operating procedures. Our culture, we are not documenting people. We don't document things. So something that was done yesterday, by today, if the person that did it is not there, other people will find it difficult to do. So this is one thing that is really affecting us in filling our talent pool in Nigeria. Next slide. So we need to bridge the cybersecurity skill gap. So, like the preceding slide that I said, I had actually modified a bit of this places, but it's like not taking it. So there are about 5 or 6 things. Maybe I won't use this slide. So let me explain. Number one is about helping existing in-house cybersecurity people to get the knowledge that they need to upskill. Right? We talked about evolution. We talked about rapidly evolving field. So as those things are evolving, the in-house staff may not be able to quickly take on those trainings and certifications. One of the things that is affecting that, especially in Nigeria, is the dollar exchange rate. When I had my certification in 2014, and some others that I did before the dollar went haywire, I didn't spend more than 200,000. But today, CISSP costs $759 today. If you multiply that with the growing conversion rate of the dollar, it's about $1 million something. So, and you're telling somebody whose salary is maybe 700 or 600,000 or 500 to spend that much on certification, it's going to be difficult. So, companies need to invest in their staff, existing staff, help them to get training, help them to get certification so they can upscale and fill up the road. Then, the next thing is to get the generality of your staff to become more cyber aware. Invest in a cyber security awareness program across the organization. You know why? When you reduce your cyber risk, you reduce the need for cyber talent. Right? Because you will then reduce the number of incidents you have. Someone was asking a question about phishing. If you are able to educate your staff about phishing, about identifying phishing, and about responding to phishing appropriately, you will reduce the incidents of phishing, and then you will reduce the requirement for cyber talent to respond to phishing, and so on for other incidents. So that's the second way of addressing the gap. And then cyber security solutions, effective cyber security solutions. Nowadays, AI is coming into the fray and doing a lot in reducing the need for talent. There was a healthy conversation that went on during the panel about whether or not AI is going to replace or complement cybersecurity skills. I think AI will complement cybersecurity skills. Why? Because you need humans, both to attend to the AI solutions that you have, and also to even deal with the situations that the AI draw. So nowadays, we have solutions like security automation, orchestration, and response to our solutions. So what they do is that they reduce the number of alerts that a SOC analyst will need to deal with. So you can take the ones that, the alerts that you have to deal with separately, you can take them and feed them into the SOA solution, and it removes that for the security analyst. Alright? But the security analyst needs to constantly revisit the rules and the playbooks that you have on the AI, so that you're sure that it's not allowing false negatives and blocking false positives. Right? So you see the complementarity coming in with AI tools working hand in hand with your SOC or your cybersecurity professionals to enhance security for the organization. Alright, next slide. So, identifying and recruiting from fresh talent pools. We mentioned minority groups that we have not tapped, like women, right? Encouraging more women to go into cybersecurity, like people in minority groups. One of the panelists mentioned that if you go to the village, people there may not have heard about neural networks, right? A lot of people in places like schools in remote areas in Nigeria may not have heard about some of the things we are discussing here today, right? So it's an opportunity for companies, for government initiatives to reach out to these people and try to recruit them into cybersecurity. Right? Then offering continuous learning opportunities to existing employees, and of course developing a cyber aware workforce. Next slide. Sorry, previous slide. Previous. Okay, previous. Yeah. So, again, we need to change the narrative. Right? Get people to understand that cybersecurity is not as tough as it's stated. Okay? And we need to encourage micro-learning. The attention span these days is very, very little. So it's no longer the days that you have people go sit down for hours and hours and study something and become experts in it. Back in the days, I know we were always constantly studying when we were trying to get our IT and cybersecurity certification. But nowadays, it's all about learning a little, once in a while, once at a time. So it's not sitting down for hours, but you can take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you learn one thing, and you will come back in 15 minutes again. Alright? And then there is managed cybersecurity provision, which a lot of companies are coming up today to do. And outsourced cybersecurity skills development and hiring, which is one of the things that TeKnowledge is big on these days. So, next slide. So I think this is the last slide on place of AI in cybersecurity. So it's not about one thing replacing the other. The bad guys are also using AI, just like has been said. But they are not leaving everything to AI to do. AI will not do their cash out for them after the cyber attack. Right? So in the same way, there are things that humans will need to do. So it's about complementarity. So you see that meme where it says, hey, ChatGPT, come and finish this building. That's construction workers recognizing the fact that AI will not replace them in their roles. So it's the same thing with cybersecurity. AI will only complement but not replace cybersecurity skills. So thank you very much for listening. And if there are any questions, you can take them.
Thank you so much, sir. Does anybody have any questions? I think it's almost impossible that there won't be any questions. No questions at all? Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Larry. I'll ask a question basically on just mentioned about last information. I want you to elaborate to some other of the audience about what transmission or maybe last specification. Because not everybody is what you say. I'm sure the other people or the entry level or something that can have an idea. CIS is what about one. So, can elaborate in terms of discussion so that I can be able to say, under this, you understand?
Okay, thank you very much. So his question is, are there other certifications apart from CISSP that people can take that are not as costly and, so there are so many. In fact, the slide that I skipped is the slide about different, you can go back to it. It's a slide about different areas of cybersecurity and the certifications point. Keep going back. Keep going back. Back. Yes. Yes, this one. Sorry, it's not displaying very well. So there are so many cybersecurity certifications. CISSP is actually like managerial. For you to, after the certification, you also need to have some 5 years experience in cybersecurity before you get certified. So there are some like CompTIA Security Plus. They are just
it's now, the elections are now open, so open from now to the end of the program. So let's start from
ISC Square is giving out 5 million certification for classified in cybersecurity, international level certification. So there are so many of them. Guys, security club, guys, there are so many entry level certification. Unfortunately, this is not, but if it's possible that they share the slides, maybe you can pick it up from this.
Thank you. There's no more questions. You guys, questions?
Okay, so his question was the health sector. Advice, what do you advise somebody who is going into cybersecurity in the health sector? Right? So the health sector is a major sector for cybersecurity. In fact, across the world, ransomware is becoming a big deal. And the health sector is a very interesting target when it comes to ransomware. You know why? Because health, it's urgent, emergencies, So the NHS in UK suffered a ransomware attack about 2-3 years ago, and it was really massive because health services was grounded. See, so and you can imagine a scenario where you come to the hospital and they couldn't attend to you because your files were not accessible, your medical records, everything, and then the regulations about data protection too. Your health information is at the top when it comes to vital information about you, your PIS. So the health sector is a major sector to invest in cybersecurity, and I mean anyone who is going into cybersecurity as part of efforts in the health sector is really admirable. And well, you could look towards data protection. Areas apart from general cybersecurity, you could look into data protection, and it's really important to look at addressing threats to the health sector. So for different sectors, there are different threats that are particular to them. So for financial sectors, you can look at hacking and cyber fraud, where the motivation for the attacker is getting to the money, right? For the health sector, you could look in terms of attacking systems, ransomware, things like ransomware, trying to run operations and demand money. Even though many ransomware groups claim that they don't attack health sector, they have this criminal code of conduct where they say they don't do anything that will harm life. But sometimes, either intentionally or inadvertently, ransomware attacks happen on health sectors, and the impact is massive. So it's a really important area. So I think you even be attractive to companies abroad if you are coming from the health sector and you have experience in cybersecurity. So their threats range from ransomware, range from data theft, to even hacking of their systems. DDoS attack is major for them as well.
Thank you very much, sir. That question reminds me of, I don't know, does anybody here watch The Good Doctor? It's a series on Netflix. There's a particular episode where somebody hacked into the system of the hospital. It was a disgruntled patient son, and the hospital was literally grounded because all their systems were connected to one cloud. The cloud was hacked, and so the people that were on life support, the machine was not working. People that were waiting to go to the operations room, they couldn't go to the operations room. Nothing was working. They couldn't very deadly as far as I'm concerned, because anybody can die. Especially now that we have, even in Nigeria, we now have hospitals like Trinity that are very, technologically advanced and they rely a lot on technology. When I go to my hospital, I don't write anything down in paper. I go from the nurses station to the doctors, and you already sent I'm sure you've experienced that already. So imagine if that kind of thing happens and somebody says, maybe I will get million, everybody dies. I can't imagine it actually. Okay, so yeah.
I have two contributions with regard to what you say. Number one, we have a very good advantage of having IC squared, allowing young talent to study self-security from the beginning at the field of the exam. Without the internet, we realize that it costs $199. Compared to Nigerian currency, is 300,000 plus, but it is free. You check the cost free, write the exam free. Why I'm contributing here is 70% of Nigerians that wrote this exam fail. Why? Because we rush the exam. If you follow on LinkedIn, you will see a lot of people from India and other countries celebrating their passing exam. But in our prometric centers in Nigeria here, 70% of those who wrote the exam they fail because we do what we rush the exam. So why I'm taking this time, I have experienced, I have seen many people that fail the exam. So if you are opportune to register, they will allow you to register free and send the exam voucher for you free. But what we do, when you start learning the courses, there is 5 domains here. If you finish domain 1, they will send a certificate for you that you have finished domain 1. That certificate doesn't mean that you are qualified to write the exam. After domain 5, many people rush to write the exam without full preparation. The exam, it is being marked by AI. And what happened, even if you pass the 4 domains, 90%, if you fail one domain, they will fail you the entire exam. That is the way they mark it. So I'm taking my time just to educate or to brief on how. Because presently I'm taking students from Sokoto, preparing them to write the exam after passing failure. Secondly, with regard to my brother question here from the health sector, there is a framework, IFA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which is a good framework. When you download it, you will have all it takes, whatever you want, that you can be able to learn on what you want to domesticate as far as your health sector is concerned. It is called IFA Act. So when you search IFA Act in Google, you will see the act is free. You can download it. When you download it, you can investigate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So please don't rush things. Better to prepare very well. Yes.
Thank you very much. Question is okay, so it's a question. With respect to the third right election, gender right between men and women in the cyber security space. I want to ask you a question with that is by doing intentional strategy to ensure that more women are in the space. There are so many strategies that come up from the secondary school education. You would also agree that most of these strategies are quite some are ethnic bias, some are there are different reasons why women are not into even the sex space. So it's something we have to say as a strategy that we can actually bring on board to ensure that women are nice to Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know if we have the question first. Asking if there are there are things being done to ensure that more women come into cybersecurity. I know of a few initiatives, right? I know about women in tech initiative, and I also know about a few initiatives by private companies that are trying to draw female talent into cybersecurity. So in our organization also, we try to get more women. I will tell you a personal experience and view. I noticed that women do most cybersecurity moves better than men.
I said every woman is better than
So like when you look at those soft skills, for cybersecurity that I listed, the analytical mindset, the curiosity, right? The attention to details. These are things women do 101% better than men. So I have a team, my personal experience, my team, we have a team that is solely women, focused on the hardest part of our job, right? It is threat and vulnerability management. And if you see the amount of data that they have to handle, I know most of the men in the team will not survive more than a week in that team. So we need to do more, in our private space, in the companies that we're working, to, get them to understand that women need to come in and fill up these roles. Sometimes again, it's the modeling that leads to this. Like if you look at the financial space in Nigeria, you see a lot of MPs. Prior to like years ago, you see a lot of the MD CEOs are men. So the modeling, when the women look, they may not even aspire to those roles, right? But only recently, about 1 or 2 banks make their MD CEOs women. So now you see more women, lower down the ladder will now look and say, men, I can actually aspire to those roles. So the more women come in, the more women model these roles, and then more women are going to